And action!
Hey everybody, welcome to the Outer Belt Podcast Live. I'm Patrick, and to my right,
I'm Silly. Hello.
and we got our producer in the house, Jer Bear.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the Outer Belt Live edition. I think first off, we just want to say thank you, right?
Yeah, thanks for supporting us.
Thank you for supporting us. We're so excited to do this. A little nerves, a little excitement in the air.
Okay, let's not start out by being untruthful to our viewers.
Some of us are
A
terrified.
little nerves? There's been lots of nerves here.
Lots of
the last couple
nerves.
hours. Yeah.
Lots of nerves over the last couple hours. It's been very exciting. There's been something in the air.
Something in the air.
There's
Lots of cold weather.
lots of cold weather. Why is it so cold? It's beautiful outside.
Freaking Ohio.
Freezing outside.
It is freezing outside.
Well, we just want to start out this podcast, this live edition, saying thank you to all the people who have downloaded the podcast so far, supported us. We really appreciate it. We're seeing several hundred downloads and our views a week, and that is way more than we expected.
Way more in this and so far. Yeah.
I thought by now we'd have 7 or 8, and that was going to be all of our staff.
All of us. Just
All of us, yes. Just watching it over and over and over on all the different accounts and
Right.
everything.
Yep.
But no, y'all have really stepped up to the plate, and y'all supported us and shared, and we really appreciate that. And then I also want to thank our Hyfield family, all of you that work with or drive with or work with or entertain with the Hyfield family as you are. We appreciate all the support. Without y'all, we could not do any of this.
We've got a ton of extended Hyfield family, too, that have no relationship with us other than they like us or somebody here in the family.
Yeah, you're absolutely.
Lots of extended
You're absolutely.
family.
We call them step family.
Step family.
Step family.
Not to be confused with a redheaded stepchild.
Well, we have those too.
Yeah, we do. We do have those, too. Yeah.
No,
It
but
takes all kinds.
it does.
It takes all kinds.
And I mean, we've been doing it at this point now for a decade. So we've got, family that's divorced and gone and started their new family, and
Yeah.
we're still friends. And
Right.
we've got family that went on and had kids, and now those family is part of our family.
Right.
And it's just an ever growing web. It has been really, really awesome. Thank y'all so much for the ride. Thank y'all for the past month of doing this show, and we look forward to doing more.
It's been a blast doing the show. I've been here now 3.5 years all told, and it's been a fun 3.5 years. There's been stress, and there's been a lot of good times. I'd rather be no place I'd rather be at this point. So thanks for giving us the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely. Well, I again, look, there's no magic sauce. We would not be here without y'all. We'd be right back running a truck, or I'd be back doing concert at sound at concerts or delivering Domino's pizza or whatever, or my future or my past has.
Speaking of sound at concerts, you could have probably made it a little better last night for those opening acts.
Oh,
But we'll get to that later.
yeah, we'll get to that later. Because I have I have some thoughts and opinions on that. But yes, thank you again. So, what's next on the agenda?
Next on the agenda is our light test.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
So
Hyfield family, if you were in the chat, I cut you off. I'm so sorry.
it's not the first time, won't be the last.
Listen to what Vince has to say.
So in our previous podcast, YouTube videos, we have done it with the overhead lights on and with the overhead lights off and just our specialty video recording lights. So Jerry is going to flip a switch here in a second and turn the overhead lights off. And we want to know what your opinions are on whether we have the overhead lights on or off. On a count of 3, Jerry, in 3, 2. All right, so we're going to leave it like this for a few minutes while Patrick talks some more. Surprise. And you guys let us know in the comments what you think. By the way, in the comments, we do have moderators watching your comments. We've got Buttermilk and E. Diddy watching the comments. I just gave him that nickname. Hope he likes it.
E. Diddy? I
E.
see
Diddy,
it. He's
yeah.
got a real, especially with the who's the guy in Sherlock Holmes? Benedict Cumberbatch. You got that little Benedict
Yes,
Cumberbatch
he
thing
does.
going on right there.
He does.
And
There they are.
look at them.
Yeah,
So they're
let us know in the comments what you think.
yes, and again they are moderating this chat. So it kind of feels like a telethon, doesn't it?
It does.
If you want to call and
Kinda
make your
does.
pledge, up next is Jerry Lee Lewis and Great Balls of Fire. So, no, they are doing a great job. All right, so I'm getting lights on requests like crazy. Are you
Everything
seeing
I'm
that?
seeing is
Everybody
lights
is
on.
saying lights on.
Are
That's
you
what I'm
seeing that
seeing as
also,
well.
Eric?
All right,
Lights on. We're seeing lights on. So
all right.
thanks,
Well,
thanks, Don.
thank you all for the feedback. We appreciate it, helping to make this a little better. And you know what? Everybody that's listening right now that's live with us, you get to sit back and go, we changed history.
We did change history.
We
They did.
changed history.
Yep, they sure did.
If we are, successful and, we podcast full time in 20 years, it's because of what you did today.
It is.
Yeah.
It truly is. Let's hope you're all here with us then.
Well, who all is here? That's my question. I would like to know who's in the house. We okay.
Yeah, tell us all who is
Yeah.
here and where you're from, where you're watching us at.
Absolutely.
We got a lot of drivers out there across the U.S. So
I am gonna look through the list real quick. We have Luke Shire Expediting Adventures is in the house.
Hey now.
What?
Welcome, Luke Shark's Bright Adventures.
I wonder what they're up to.
Curious. I'd like to know too.
Yeah. So Dana Lord, what's up, Dana? How you doing? Are y'all? Dana's out there doing rock concert stuff, right?
No, he's doing XFL football stuff.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
I guess on the side he does rock concerts as well. He's singing now. And Deb, I think, plays the drums. Kind of like White Stripes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's their name? Praise the Lord.
Yes, there you go. Yes, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyway.
We're here all week.
All week. And then we got Maddie B in the house. And his wonderful
Better half.
Can we say better?
3/4.
3/4. I mean, yeah.
Probably should.
Jamie in the house as well. How y'all doing?
So
And
I wanted to address a little comment that came in.
oh,
So speaking of Dana Lord, he actually mentioned no super chat. So this is a good time to let all of y'all know we don't have that activated yet because we do need 1,000 subscribers. So if y'all could hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, make sure you're watching us. We got to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark and 4,000 hours of watch time before we can start doing any type of monetization or anything else. Not just super chat or any of that other stuff, but before we can do anything else with the channel, we've got to hit that milestone.
absolutely. So basically, right now we are going to continue doing the wonderful program we've been providing you. And we're going to keep going live. I think once a month is kind of the schedule we're going for.
That's the plan. That's the goal.
And until we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, then we can do some cooler stuff and have some more fun. But right now, keep enjoying us, entertaining you. Please give us your feedback. Let us know where we're doing a great job. Let us know where we're boring you to death. We want to be here to help y'all out and just make your time listening to us more enjoyable. Ain't nobody want to listen to like boring Mr. Like today is brought to you by the letter A.
A for
Apple.
Apple. That's
The
what I was
device
gonna say.
broadcasting
Yes.
all of this. Coincidentally enough, happens to be today's non-sponsor.
Wow.
That's
a
right.
Big, that's a big pull right there.
That's a big flex.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
We have Apple
Everywhere.
everywhere. We have Red Delicious. We have Granny Smith.
Yeah.
We have
Honeycrisp.
Honey. Oh, who doesn't like a good Honey Crisp,
They're
right?
expensive, but man.
Oh, they're
worth every
outstanding.
penny.
Can you imagine? Or not? Can you imagine? But like dip them in a little caramel. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
Oh,
But
yeah.
no, they run our laptops for editing. They are running the laptops and the iPads right now for the comments that you're talking to us on. They are our phones, which is our backup devices in case the Wi-Fi goes down. They are everywhere. So
Everywhere.
we want to continue to say thank you to Apple for your non-support. We really could do this without you, but it's a lot easier doing it with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Apple.
So I see a few more names there in the chat that we haven't talked to yet.
All right, let's walk through it.
Yeah, Kayla Bender. She's in the chat.
Kayla.
Kayla's there.
She's
Yeah.
alive.
She is alive. That's so glad to see
That's
you're alive.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned last night.
A little bit. Days Gabe is a contractor with us out in one of our Panther trucks, I believe.
What's up? If
Yeah.
you're the person I think you are, we met. Let me know. If you're not the person I've met, nice to meet you. But I'm fairly confident we met. And then Don Clute is also in the house. But when I say that, I mean he's
literally
in the house. Like I'm staring at him.
Yeah.
He's the cameraman actually right now, and he is making sure Jerry gets the right information to make us all look beautiful. Lynette, what's up, Lynette? And
Got George Burton sitting up
thank
in
you.
upstate New York and waiting to go to Montreal.
I got a little glare, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I see Montreal, but what's the name right above it?
Hey George, tell your wife hello for us as well.
Yep. And Days Gabe did say, "Yep, that was the one I thought I knew you."
Yeah.
Just making sure. Upstate New York, is it cold up there? It's got to be
It's got to
ridiculous,
be
right?
ridiculously cold with snow. Lots of snow.
It's stinking 38 degrees here right now. It's beautiful. There's not a cloud in the sky.
None.
It's beautiful blue. Like when you're sitting in the house, you're like, "Hey, let's go outside and fish."
I was thinking that earlier.
And as soon as you walk outside, you realize
no.
the river's ice.
Yeah, it's ice. I'm not doing ice fishing. I'm sorry.
It is so cold outside, but it's a beautiful day. Jimmy McDonald in the house. What?
Whoa.
Holy cow.
What's
What's
happening,
up,
Jimmy?
Jimmy?
Hey, Jimmy, do me a favor. I'm going to wait 12 seconds till Jimmy responds to me asking him to do me a favor.
He just jumped on, was up, boys, and jumped off.
He did. That's it. That's all he did.
That's all he
Just
did.
to show I'm here. Hey, tell your wife, Kelly Pie, happy birthday from all of us.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Kelly. If y'all
Happy
saw
birthday.
Give her a big old smooch.
us. Yeah. Well, these are all starting to run together. We've done so many now. Was it last week we had Kelly and Jimmy on?
It was last week.
It was, yeah. They were awesome guests. They did a great, should be home in 20 minutes. They did a great job. They are some awesome people. Not only are they awesome Hyfield people who used to drive, who have a career with Class A and Class B driving, who've been around the world. Jimmy used to haul chicken feed. I mean, when he quit hauling chicken feed, chickens stopped laying eggs. I'm just saying it's a weird coincidence. But
It is,
anyways,
yeah.
but he...
That's why the price went so high.
That is why the price went so high. They're like, we can't do it without Jimmy. And I'm fine with that because he runs our maintenance department. He's an awesome guru when it comes to maintenance, and he just does a super wonderful job. Of course, my dad helps him, Donnie, part-time, and then we got Don also coming up in the ranks trying to take Jimmy's job. And so that... So, yeah, and Kelly runs our fleet support, and today is Kelly's birthday. She is 36.
36. She's going to hate us for telling that.
I
but
know.
36.
She looks 28.
She does look 28.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it's the L'Oreal that she uses.
Is it the
cream.
L'Oreal?
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it works nice.
Yeah.
I thought it was CoverGirl.
CoverGirl?
Yeah.
There's no need to cover that girl.
None.
None.
No
need to cover her at all.
Are we allowed to call her a girl? At 36? Are
Well,
we allowed
I'm only using the word girl and the
Because
context
cover
of
did.
cover girl.
Okay.
So I just used it that way. There's no need to cover that woman. It just doesn't work the same way.
No, because then it sounds something...
All right,
It's
exactly.
very- okay.
Completely different.
Anyways.
Completely different. Yeah.
And
So
we got...
one last hello to Janet Ingram
That's
from
where I was about to
Arkansas.
go.
And then just so you guys know, we're not going to sit here the whole show and rattle off hellos to everybody that pops in. We have our moderators sitting over here we talked about. They are looking at your comments and questions. We have somebody on Facebook who's asked about driving requirements, and we'll get to that in a minute. We're not ignoring you. But they're going to feed us the questions so we can actually have a conversation and not be distracted by this. So what I'm going to do right now is go say goodbye to YouTube. It's gone.
Yes,
Bye.
I just
See ya.
said bye to YouTube.
Yep.
All right, good. We're off. So now that YouTube is no longer
Exactly.
is much easier.
Easy for you to say.
Easier thought than said.
That's how that guy sounded last night when he was
was.
singing.
Horrible. So we do have a show that we want to do for y'all. We do want to we thank all of y'all in the chat. Look, after this, Vince, myself, Jer Bear, we're all going to go sit through and read all the chats and go through everything.
We will.
So if you do get skipped over, it might be because we want to talk to you about it offline. It might be that we just went a little too far with our chat and didn't catch it in time. Melissa and
Eric?
Melissa and Eric are going to be in the chats. They will be also interacting with y'all, so they may answer some questions, and then they don't send them to us. So, but we are going to be reading all of them. We do appreciate everything. We just want to also get through a little bit of agenda that we have. Or not agenda. That's not the right word, is it? What's the word? Song list, set list? No.
Agenda works.
It's schedule. Oh, I have it written right
Schedule.
here.
You have it written
Schedule.
there?
It's literally written
Wow. You're the best.
right here.
You're the best.
So, that's hysterical.
Do you have the email address written down still, too?
I do. I don't know what it is, but I have it written down.
Good.
So, anyways, okay. So we have we can go a couple different places. Do you want to address that question real quick, Vince?
I do want to address that question.
All right.
Give me 1 second because I want to get more information from Eric on that one. Eric, can you tell me who actually asked that question so I can address them directly? So the question is about driving requirements, and I'm going to presume that you're asking about FedEx Custom Critical and Panther Premium Logistics. So the requirements here at Hyfield Trucking for our straight truck is a Class B license. We prefer you to have, we normally require you to have hazmat and tanker endorsements and a partner. We don't play matchmaker here at Hyfield.
No.
So whether it's a friend or a loved one, a parent or a child, we have both same household trucks, we call them, that have the full-size bed. Some of them have a bunk. We also have what we call a side-by-side, and Jerry did a video on the side-by-sides. Am I lying, Jerry? You did a side-by-side video, right?
I did. It's up on the Hyfield YouTube channel.
All right.
Yeah.
It's on our YouTube channel, but it shows that it's at 2 separate twin-size beds for those that are not the same household. And that was from Jeremy Smith on Facebook. Did I cover everything there?
So Class B is the minimum. If you have a Class A, you absolutely
we'll take
can
you.
still.
Sure.
So B or A, either one's fine. And then we also have the hazmat and tanker endorsement is it's a weird. So we're going to call it a requirement, but let's just say we waive that requirement all the time. So if that's a hang up, just reach out to us. We do have several people who don't have them. And we work with them, and we just find the program that works best when that happens.
They're working towards getting them usually as well. So.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it takes some time.
It does, and it takes money. I mean, the hazmat endorsement used to be you study the manual, go to the DMV, and $15 later you have your hazmat. A lot of that's changed now. It's not the same as it used to be. So because of that, we are working with people now. So that's not as much of a concern. We have ways to work around it. And then, but yeah, I was gonna say too, but the side-by-side truck, hey, Jerry, your video was really good on that. I don't know why I had to say that because all your content's outstanding. But I really enjoyed that video. And the cool thing about the side-by-side bed is we actually have a lot of same household teams that request them as well. Because,
interesting.
I mean, you sleep in a king-size bed at your house.
Right.
And then you go and you get on a mattress 48 inches wide, and there's a lot of times that it's just such a shock where it's like, oh my gosh, like I got to lay on my side, but I'm a back sleeper, and now I can't lay next to my wife the same way or whatever. So there's a lot of situations where teams do actually kind of like the side-by-side where they can each have their own space to relax and kind of not be worried about... A 48-inch mattress, a full-size mattress, it's nice.
It's nice.
It's pretty tight. It's
not a
still
king
tight.
size.
It's not a king size.
Or a queen size.
Or a queen. Yeah. Or a California king.
Right. Yeah.
But what it's also not a factory sleeper 38-inch wide mattress.
Yeah.
Like it's huge compared to that.
It does give you a lot more space.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot more space.
I really like those side-by-side trucks because just the amount of opportunity there is for them. And the other thing that's cool is they kind of remind me of a dorm room. Like they throw them back to college where it's like...
The side-by-sides?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where your roommate is within hand's reach away because your room's so small?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have that experience. I'm only going off what I saw in the movies. But it's interesting.
Yes. I just lost my place. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. So we answered that question from Jeremy Smith. What else do we have here?
Let me see.
Kayla's going to start using step family from now on.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it too.
There's-
Again, not redheaded step family, just step family.
Yeah, there's enough people that have actually, worked with us in the past that it
Yeah.
just it makes sense.
It does. We're still friends.
Yes.
We're still friends with those people. So
Yes. Well, we kind of alluded to it earlier. Last night, if we sound like we're dragging a little bit, it's because last night we did go to a Blake Shelton concert.
it was a fun concert. I thought I'd be miserable. I'm not a big country music fan. I mean, I grew up in the South.
Yes.
South of California. Well, South California, Southern California. So that's still the South, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
It's still the South. I mean, if you look at it, on the map, it's still the South.
I think that's where people get confused.
But we
Yeah.
didn't. I grew up in South Los Angeles too, so I'm just in Southern California, in South Los Angeles. I got South written all over me. Can't you tell? I mean, the Southern twang.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just didn't do a bunch of country music in the South. My South.
Well, it's a shame.
Yeah, well, not really. But it was a fun show. I enjoyed myself. I had tears at one point,
It was.
but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, it was a really good show, and I really forgot how much music Blake Shelton's written over the past several years. He is a really great artist. Little fact that I've told you like 6 times now, but I'm going to tell the audience. So back in the day, I was a sound guy, and I would do concerts and run sound for concerts, and that was my profession, so I made my living.
Sure.
And loved it. It was a lot of fun, but I sorry. It was a lot of fun, but so when I worked at a place in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where I'm originally from, we had a summer series of concerts, 10 concerts in a row, and Blake Shelton came out every single year and worked with us. And so from like 2005 to 2012, I worked with Blake Shelton every summer. And
Miserable, wasn't it? Just a horrible guy,
super
wasn't he?
nice guy.
Was he really?
He was so nice. He was always out. We were like once the work was done, like throwing frisbees, throwing footballs. His crew would always bring a grill and they'd set it up on the side of the not on the side of the stage, but like off stage,
Sure.
and do burgers and steaks and all
dogs.
that stuff.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun, and you really got to see, hey, this guy is a genuine good guy. He's not like he's a showman. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But he's not like what you see on stage is also what he is behind the scenes. And it was a lot of fun to be able to work with him because, as a hired help, as a hired hand, you're disposable and,
Sure.
and people don't feel like they have to give you respect because I see you this week and I don't see you again.
Right.
But he never treated us like that. He always treated us like we were doing him the favor, which is not fair. And because without him doing his bit, we wouldn't have a job. Like we worked together, and it was really fun. It was really awesome. I enjoyed a lot the experiences I had working with him, and it was fun to see him in concert. It's also to see him go from, the little country act that popped in on one little bus,
Right.
and we did everything for him,
Yeah.
to the show we saw last night with 25,000 people,
Yeah.
and every
The
seat
stadium was packed.
every seat was full.
Nationwide was just packed with
It
people.
was crazy.
Everybody was having a good time.
Yes.
That was fun.
Yeah, and he put on a
fun.
good show.
He did.
It wasn't just good music. It was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
He talked.
It was a comedy show too.
It was a comedy show. Absolutely, absolutely. When Gwen Stefani was up there,
Yeah.
it just
Yeah,
killed me.
that was cool.
Slayed.
That was
It
cool.
Slayed.
Yeah.
I do see we have a couple more questions.
We do. So to go back and follow up on Jerry Smith's comment or question. The question is, who do potential drivers contact to start getting on with Hyfield? What's that contact look like?
So to potentially get on and start working with Hyfield, you can go to our website or you can go to our a direct message if you're watching us on Facebook.
What's that website address, Patrick?
That website is
Or should I ask Jerry?
That website is Hyfield Well, that's a good question. Is it .net or .com?
.com.
.com. Hyfieldtrucking.com. .com. It's HYF as in Frank, IELD, trucking.com.
Awesome. That's good to know.
And you can, there's a contact us button on there. You can, we have a few different ways you can get in touch with us. There's a phone number. There is a form you can fill out right there, and we'll contact you later. Or there is a Calendly invite where you can actually say, hey, I want to talk to you, and I want to talk to you 2 p.m. on Tuesday. And at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, there's a number for you to call, and you call in, and we're there waiting on you to answer it with you. So it's a really great way for us to get in touch, and then we can start talking about the various carriers we service, the different trucks we have, all that good stuff. What's available, what's not available, and also it's good for people who maybe you don't have your CDL yet and you want to get in the business and you're not sure where to start. We can also kind of guide you a little bit there as well, and give you some advice and on what to do, and that way when you come out of school, or when you get your CDL, you can come straight to us. So, yeah, that's the easiest way to get in touch with us.
That's great, because then you have a couple of different options. An immediate phone call, fill out that form to get a phone call back. Schedule the time. If you don't have time, I'm doing a form right now. I don't have time to make this phone call because I got to deliver in half an hour, or I'm at work and I can't talk on the phone right now. You can schedule that appointment for a better time for you to be on that call and ask your questions and get your questions answered.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And sometimes you don't know. Like I don't necessarily know when would be a good time to call me back. Like I can't pick out a certain date or time or whatever because I don't really know my schedule.
Sure.
So then using the generic contact us form, and then sometimes we'll play phone tag a little bit back and forth, but eventually we get through. We get through. So that's the best way to get in touch with Hyfield. We've got a couple people working those lines. We got Kayla, and we also have Delina, and they do an excellent job of explaining everything. So I see another one kind of goes along with it. How long does it take to get into a truck and get your first check? So that's an interesting one. That's going to be carrier dependent,
right,
a little bit. So I'll say, depending on the carrier, it can either take as quick as 2 weeks or it can take as long as a month.
Right.
And it kind of depends on when you get those applications in.
It does.
So by far, Panther is much quicker at getting teams into trucks. And they also pay faster.
They do. Yep. That's what I've heard.
Yep. And so if that speed and urgency matters, that's the best way to go. And then on the FedEx side, generally people are looking at 30 days from the time they put their application in to the time they're getting into a truck. And then they with FedEx, there's some orientation classes that they only do twice a month that you have to be a part of and everything before you can get into a truck. So it's a little more of a process.
And Panther's orientation is all self-paced.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's you don't have to wait till that next class to be able to start yourself in a truck.
Absolutely, yeah. Once your background comes back and everything's good, then they send you the modules. You can do them.
Drug screen, physical. Panther does require you to do a physical at one of their approved physicians.
Yes.
So you will, even if you got a physical done a month ago before you went to school, if it wasn't done with a MD or a nurse practitioner,
correct,
Panther will not accept that.
Yeah, and that's getting more and more common in the industry. There's a lot of what are they called? When you have a muscle that's tweaked.
Physical therapists,
and also chiropractors.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that have the ability to do medicals, and a lot of companies are starting to no longer use them.
Yeah. So
that is definitely a thing that's becoming more and more industry standard. So you probably see people starting to be more tight on where you can get those physicals done. And a lot of it too is the FMCSA and the CSA score.
Right.
They have what's called driver fitment, and so that is getting tighter and tighter. So it's a sad reality of being in trucking, but I mean it's easy. You can pop into a Concentra, you pop into a like a lot of the urgent cares that have
They do.
the doctor on site, they can do it, and it's fine. So we have another one here. And I'm sorry, I forgot the first check. So with Panther, the general rule is it's around 2 weeks after you run your first load.
Correct.
So it's just like a normal job.
Yeah.
You would, if you went to work somewhere, a couple weeks later, you get a check. And so Panther tries to hold that for their contractors, for their drivers as well.
And with Panther, we've got some deductions that you should be aware of too. Panther will not will charge back the cost of your drug screen and your physical at $75 for each of those. So $150 per driver.
Correct.
Is charged back to you on your first settlement. So you may have ran a full week.
Yeah.
It's going to be less those two amounts. You're an independent contractor. You're responsible for making those payments.
Absolutely. And FedEx is the exact same way. They do the drug test. Now, FedEx is not as punctual, I'll say, with those. So FedEx is generally 3 weeks from the first time you haul your first load, which is good for when you factor in your home time as well, because
Sure.
you're gone for a week. Then
You've got something coming.
You've got something coming for a couple weeks, and then you'll be
Right.
out there working, and then you won't have one. And then we have a bunch of teams who plan their downtime to span like half of one pay period or one settlement period, half another settlement period. That way, they still get something, even if it's half. They can still kind of manage that cash flow a little
And
better.
our settlements are weekly on Panther. Are they weekly on FedEx side as well?
They are weekly, yes. So once there's that delay for that first one, then you maintain that weekly cycle.
Okay.
So yeah,
And are the FedEx settlements paid to drivers from Hyfield on Tuesday as well? As
Yes.
They're on Panther side. They're paid on Tuesdays. Unless
Absolutely.
there's a holiday on Monday, then it gets pushed back a day.
correct.
But we're okay. Good.
Yep.
It's good to know.
It is
All right.
good, and it's funny too because we're no longer banking with a company out of Louisiana. We were for a while working with credit union down in Louisiana, and we would get some crazy Louisiana holidays that would really mess up the pay schedule. It'd be like, sorry, Mardi Gras happened. You'll get paid on Wednesday, and people are like,
Mardi Gras?
What? Like we've heard. What's that? That's a New Orleans thing, right?
Somebody got drunk, so I don't get paid.
Yeah, right. So we stopped that. We started working with a large national bank, and all that's gone away. So now it's the bank holidays that you see on every major bank's calendars.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's so that's kind of the rundown. You got to be a little more patient with FedEx, and Panther's a lot more on top of that
But
stuff.
if you go into it knowing, though, when to expect that first settlement,
It's huge.
It's so much better than just being surprised
Absolutely.
by, I heard I get paid on Tuesday and I haven't seen the paycheck yet. So
Yep.
It's so much nicer. Ronnie on Facebook asked a question. It's your husband and wife team looking to team up. They live in North Texas. Could we get back to the house and how often? I see y'all are in Ohio, just asking. So where we are located doesn't matter to the fleet as far as getting home. What matters is the amount of freight you get going through that area. So when you say you're in North Texas, there's a lot of North Texas. Are you up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
Amarillo.
Excuse me?
Yes, at Amarillo.
Amarillo, yeah.
Yeah.
So Wichita Falls. Anyway, we can talk North Texas all day. Getting home is really up to you and the freight that you are choosing on both carriers. Sometimes getting home might be, let's say you're in Amarillo, just as an example, coming across I-40, you have extra time on a load, and you can stop in and spend the night in your own bed at home. Other times, getting home is at Panther putting a home time request in.
Yes.
That you want to get close to there or get towards there, and they'll try and get you close to where you need to be. On the FedEx side, I'll let Jerry discuss that because he's got more information on the FedEx side about getting home to North Texas than I ever would.
You're North Texas, as in Amarillo, that type of thing. Even Dallas, if you consider that North Texas,
Sure.
is going to be a little bit. There's a lot of stuff going to the Texas area with FedEx. Getting out is the issue.
I called it Wichita Falls. That's home for Ronnie. So
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, unlike Panther, Panther will usually try to help you get home. You can put that request in. FedEx does not do that. FedEx, you just you got to bite the bullet and go whenever you got to go. And
right. Sure.
Yeah. I will say, that's one thing we see more at FedEx is more people paying money to get home, as opposed to at Panther, people are able to get loads in the general direction. And that leads us to, in general, our Hyfield's policy is stay out for 3 weeks. So stay out for 3 weeks, and then you get a week back at your home, and we will pay up to 300 miles.
Yes,
to
300
get you
miles.
home.
Get you home.
So if you're
anything after that, we charge you back the cost of fuel for
Correct.
the additional miles.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you were in Wichita Falls, for example, if you had a load going to, Dallas or Amarillo or Texarkana or any place like that, you would be pretty close to or Oklahoma City, be pretty close to getting home for free, basically. And then, like Jerry said, getting a load out could be problematic. Anytime I hear people, Wichita Falls is kind of an interesting spot because there's just not a lot of freight there in general. But anytime I hear people talk about Texas, I almost immediately think Panther, because Panther has so much more freight going in and out of Texas.
Yeah.
Than what FedEx does.
We get a lot of stuff going in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Melissa and I actually delivered in Wichita Falls once. It was a tote of some sort of chemical we delivered down there.
Yeah.
But Dallas-Fort Worth, we're in and out of Laredo all the time.
Yeah.
We'll deliver to El Paso, not so much coming out of El Paso. Houston we'll deliver into, again, not so much coming out of Houston.
Yeah.
But we can make things happen in that area in Texas, certainly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And FedEx tends to be a little more challenging to get in and out of that area.
Sure.
Like Jerry said, you can get in. It's the getting out part that's
Yep.
rough. And there are some tools that you can have to help you with that. Both carriers work very heavily with government departments,
Mhm.
and you can get cleared with both carriers, and as long as you have a hazmat, and then that whole area, the whole,
Yeah.
North America becomes your playground. It's you can do whatever. It's at that point, it's pretty good.
Yep.
So the thing that I think sets us apart a little bit is we have a mentor program that enables you to, no matter where you're at and where we're located, you work hand in hand with a experienced team, just like Jerry was, just like you were, Vince.
Yep.
And they help you, like, okay, so you live in Seattle. Okay, here's how to get you home, and here's how to get out, and here's the loads, and they kind of see trends, and they know, every Thursday we see this load, coming out. So let's try to cater your home time around that.
Sure.
And I think that's one of the really strong strengths of what we do with Hyfield is that we're able to really help people figure out what works best for their business. And those mentors are key. I can't stress it enough. And we see it on our side when we look at the truck revenues, because obviously we track all that internally.
You have to as a business.
And we do it over 100 trucks, 106 trucks, whatever the number is. And so we sit back and we actually watch all of these figures. And I can tell you, the teams that follow their mentors have significantly higher income than the teams that don't.
Sure. And like you said, your mentors can help you make that load going home into one that helps you get out as well. It may not get out of that exact city, but they'll help you get paid to head to somewhere else where you can get that freight. So that mentor program is important.
Absolutely.
That way you're not sitting in Seattle for days, weeks, waiting for that unicorn Seattle load to pop up. You can get yourself down to Los Angeles possibly, and maybe Melissa and I did it before, picked up a load. We're heading down to Los Angeles from Seattle, picked up a load out of, was it Eugene? Oregon, going back east. So it worked out for us for a while that way. But you don't have to, if you're using your mentors, and they'll advise you on ways you can get out of bad locations, certainly.
Absolutely. And the other thing that's helpful too is being flexible in your home time.
Sure.
Now, obviously, we all have doctor's appointments or maybe grandkids' birthdays or something like that. You have to get to. It's a hard
airline
date.
Tickets for a date.
Exactly. So there are some times where you have a hard date where I have to meet that no matter what, and you just do your best.
Sure.
But then for the other times where it's like, hey, we've been out for 2 months, we need some home time.
Yeah.
If you can be flexible with that, generally you can get pretty darn close, and it not cost you any money, and even make money going home. Like that's the best. That's the best ideal is. Let me make money going home.
Yes.
you know,
Make
and then
money
make
going
money
home
and then make me come
getting out. Yeah.
So again,
Yeah.
that's kind of where we really specialize. And I think where we really shine.
Yeah.
Billy
Wertzinger.
met y'all at the expo last year.
Hey, Billy.
Looking forward to working. I see you said for you all. We work with companies and with sole proprietors and stuff. So we were looking forward to working with
You,
y'all.
Billy. Yeah.
Yes. I firmly believe Hyfield and all the contractors, we all work together. We don't work for, we don't work against.
We don't.
We don't tell you how to operate your truck. We advise with
Sure.
the mentor program.
Certainly.
But you, at the end of the day, get to make that decision.
I've even told people, when I'm talking to them about my current role, that Patrick or Eric is my boss, and they both look at me like I'm lost my mind and say, no, we work together. Yes, they do give me direction. They do give me corrections, but we all work together as a team across the board. We truly do.
Yeah, that's the only way. It's the only way I know how to do business. I come from a background, not a corporate America background, but I come from a independent contractor, freelance background, and that is I'm an independent contractor.
Right.
You task me with a job, and then I do it the way I see fit, the way I think is best.
Sure.
If you have advice on something, I certainly need to learn from it and grow from it. But at the end of the day, I make the call, and
You make the decision.
we
Yeah.
believe that this is the exact same situation.
Yeah.
It's very independent. You do control your destiny. It's one of the few places in America where you can easily get in a situation where you are literally in the driver's seat.
I think what you just said about being in the driver's seat and controlling your destiny kind of answers the next two questions a little bit. So we've got two questions here I think we can answer at the same time. From somebody on YouTube, is there a fleet owner that has a higher earning potential? Is there a big difference in income potential? And the next question comes from Camper on Facebook. Do you have to dispatch yourself, or does Panther take care of that? And would you be employed by y'all or Panther? So I think the first part of that is Ronnie Camper, you are not employed by Panther or by Hyfield Trucking. You are an independent contractor. You are self-employed. So there's a huge difference there between being employed by somebody or being an independent contractor. As an independent contractor, you do run your own business. Panther and FedEx offer you loads. As far as being dispatched, you have the ability to choose which loads you accept or which loads you refuse because you are an independent contractor. We don't. There is no forced dispatch here from either Panther or FedEx. Any load that you were offered is yours to say no to or yours to accept. There's a little more
Finesse to it.
finesse, thank you, in it than just that. But that's the bottom line with those. And then as far as is there a fleet owner that has a higher earning potential? Your earning potential is really what you make of it, how you manage those loads. So I'd love to say that, yes, there's higher earning potential here at Hyfield Trucking, but that comes along with using mentors. I don't know what camera I'm looking at, Jerry. I'm all over the place here, but it's okay. It's just me. So I'm going to look at both of them and figure it out. Anyway, your earning potential really on both carriers is how you choose to use your mentors and what freight you choose to take. So is there I think the big difference with earning potential, possibly, again, if you're smart about it, is whether you're running a 40-60 split where the fleet's paying for fuel, or whether you're running a 60-40 split where you yourself are paying for fuel. If you can manage that and find the right fuel prices, you can potentially make more money. But there's all kinds of other stuff that goes along with that too, and we're actually talking about doing a series on that.
Yeah, we are going to be doing a series on business models and how different fleets have themselves set up, and all the different models that are around the industry. Because there's a lot, and so I want to say too, like there's not one magic bullet either. I think so. When you've got, like you were saying, you're going into looking at a fleet, you're talking to them, and like I could tear these models apart. So you look at a 40-60 split,
Sure.
where the contractors make 40% of the revenue of the truck, but they don't have to cover any of the expenses at all, period. Well, that sounds nice, doesn't it? Especially if they have a mentor program.
Right.
And those mentors can teach you, hey, here's how to make money, here's how to run loads.
Right.
Right? But then you have to ask. But then it goes an extra level deeper of what kind of equipment do they have? How old is their equipment? Are they maintaining their equipment? Old equipment's not bad if it's maintained well.
Sure.
But newer equipment is also theoretically has more uptime, right? Like that's kind of the whole point of having new equipment.
Yes.
So if I take a higher percentage to get into older equipment, is that really going to work for me in the long run? It could.
If you're down all the time. Yeah.
If you're down all the time, that digs into your pockets,
Sure.
right? And then if you're down, does your fleet give you a downtime pay for that,
Right.
Or not?
Does your fleet have the ability to put you into a different truck if you're going to be down for quite some time?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of that as well in the industry where a small fleet's maxed out, and then what do you do? So there's lots of concerns with that kind of stuff. Some people really like small fleets too because you get to be on a one-on-one basis with the fleet owner, and you really get to pick their brain a lot. That's one of the big reasons why we started our mentor program. Was we wanted to make sure people had an experience the same as if they were in a small fleet.
Right.
So your mentor gives you that same amount of experience, that same knowledge, that same wisdom to help you run your business.
How many teams do our mentors generally have at one time?
We generally, and there's a big asterisk, and both of you are going to laugh when I say this, generally 5 trucks.
Okay.
That's what we try for.
Right.
We try not for more than 5 trucks. Now, is there times where it's 6 or 7? Yeah.
9 or 10.
Or 9 or 10? Yeah, it has happened. But 5 is the goal.
Well, it happened to us when we were growing the Panther fleet when we first started. I think we had 4 trucks in the Panther fleet when we first started. And I could be wrong with that number. But so as we built the Panther fleet, we didn't have teams that had the experience or the knowledge to be mentors.
Exactly.
So we had to build that fleet before we could bring on that next mentor team once they proved themselves. So we did have, I think, 9 or 10 teams at one time.
Yeah.
But you also have teams that are in different levels of need.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
You have a team that's brand new, is green. They just got their CDLs. They need help with everything.
Call before you move the trucks. We make sure your logs are
exactly. How to fuel the truck,
Yeah.
How to interact with shippers and receivers, how to log hours of service, that kind of stuff. And then once they get going and they don't need that constant hand-holding, I shouldn't call it hand-holdings. It's not really that. If they don't need that constant support, they need support every couple of days with load offers and what we think they should, how we would negotiate that load. So you bring in a brand new green team that needs that support, but the other one doesn't need quite so much. So you learn to manage that time, certainly.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's the same with the small fleet owner. They're playing that same balance as well. And then I'm going to circle back. One more example would be the 60-40 split, where you pay for the fuel. You get a bigger chunk of the money, but you're now paying for stuff. You're now paying a lot more for fuel. And you'll see fuel prices right now, especially diesel, are through the roof. Well, there's 2 things to watch out with that, is make sure you're getting good, well-maintained equipment. Because our trucks on average get 10-ish miles per gallon. But if I'm not paying for fuel, or if the company's not paying for fuel, then what's the incentive to keep the truck up to make sure it's getting 10 miles per gallon?
Right.
So it's easy to find yourself in a situation where you're driving a truck getting 7 miles per gallon and you're paying for the fuel, or the owner-operator, the fleet owner's not offering discounts on fuel, which discounts on fuel are a big thing.
They are.
Again, stick around, listen to our business models. We're going to talk about that. You can mark fuel up as a fleet owner. There's a lot of things you can do to make extra money on the back of the contractor.
Wow.
That's out there. I'm not going to say right or wrong. I'm just saying it's out there.
It's out there. It's available.
So
yeah.
There's a lot of things to look at. There's really a lot of bits of it. It's probably gonna be a multi-week series that we're gonna have going through, and because I think it's really good information that people need to have.
Agreed.
It's picking out your fleet, or your carrier rather, picking out your fleet, picking out your operating model. Those are all very important questions that everybody has to come to reckon with. I think we do it the best. But I fully recognize we don't fit in everybody's model.
Yeah.
And that's fine. The important thing is having that informed decision, knowing what you're getting into and knowing what to expect,
Sure.
and deciding if that works for you or not.
Yeah.
So great questions, I got to say,
Great
so
questions.
far.
Billy, can't wait to have you here on the fleet with us. Let us know what's going on with you right now and where you're at and what your time frame looks like. Just be curious to know that. Our moderators are letting us know they're having a problem seeing Facebook messages right now. Sorry, it's been fixed. Apparently, they've already troubleshot it and fixed it. You guys are the best.
Cool.
We have the best moderators in the business.
Yep. I want to say too, Ronnie, there's like, oh, okay. Sorry, a little on-set direction.
Yeah.
Ronnie, please reach out to us. We'd love to have more conversations with you about this as well, or keep watching our content. We're going to keep addressing these issues not these issues, but these topics as we go. And we would love to have you within the Hyfield family if you think we're a good fit. Absolutely would love to work with you all as well. And
Gabe is showing out the shout out to the Shills. I'm guessing, Gabe, the Shills are your mentor, so they're good people.
That would be funny if they weren't.
It would be funny. He just knows them.
Just randomly.
Randomly, hey, the Shills, my mentor sucks, but the Shills are great people. And sometimes we have that happen where there's personality
just about
conflicts.
To go there.
You know, Melissa and I have had teams that come on to be our mentees, and the personalities just don't match for some reason.
Absolutely.
And we'll try. If you don't get along with my personality, which some people don't, because I'm pretty straightforward. I don't pull many punches. Melissa will have kinder words, and we'll have them talk to her as opposed to talking to me, and they're getting the same information from us, just in different words. Most people, one of the two of us works out well. There have been a few teams that neither one of us were the right person to talk to them, or we just couldn't figure out what that communication needed to be. And we talked to Dina, and Dina is our mentor coordinator here at Hyfield, and Dina tries to find the right match with a different mentor team, and they make the transition to that different mentor team, and they're successful, or they're not. But we do our best. We do regularly our best to try and find a good match personality wise, so that there's not some friction there. We have a team that's successful.
Well, absolutely, and I think that's one of the perks of working with a larger fleet is that you do have multiple points of contact, and if it's not working with this person, then we can change. And it's funny because on the team side, if a team's saying, hey, we've tried to work with this mentor, we just can't, we're not seeing eye to eye or what have you, and to them, they're like, are we letting down our mentees, our mentors and all this stuff? And so there's a little bit of like, no, it's fine, we'll move you to another mentor, and get a better fit. And sometimes we dig into, okay, what did you like, what don't you like? Then we can kind of guide, because we know people's personalities that are our mentors. And then we have to do the same thing on the back end. Every time, because it eventually happens to every mentor team. At some point, a mentor is going to have a mentee taken off of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always like a little bit of counseling we have to go through right after it happens, because it's jarring. You're like, what I do? I don't understand what I did wrong. And it's like, it's not a right or wrong. It's a personality conflict. Like there's people that I have met out when I was doing sound and doing lighting. I just didn't like them.
Sure.
Or I did like them, but man, I could not get through them. They wouldn't listen to me. They wouldn't hear me out, whatever. And then other people I was working with the same company got along with them great. And I'm like, what am I missing?
What's the deal? Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes our personalities just don't.
They don't mesh.
They don't mesh.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. We understand that we've been doing it a while, and we're good to work through that. So again, great questions, and
So tell me, Patrick.
Yes.
After we finish this show today,
Yes, sir.
which we talked about going 7 hours, right?
I thought we said till 7. It's only 4 hours.
Till 7. That's only 4 hours. Okay,
Yeah,
I
okay.
get my time confused. Can
That's
we just
fine.
use military time from now on?
Yes.
So once we get through this show today, I hear you got plans for tomorrow.
I do.
What are you doing?
I'm going to hitch up to a trailer, and I'm going to drive out to Vegas, pick up a car I bought out there,
Okay.
and then come right back. 6,000 miles round trip.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds exciting. So next on the topic here.
Yeah, I'm kind of dreading it.
I mean, but you just did, 1,000 miles
just
in
did
2 days from Texas.
I did.
So, what's 6,000 miles and you're not logging any time?
It's still a lot.
It is still a lot.
And to be clear, I'm not logging any time because I'm bringing like a little utility trailer.
Right, behind a van and not a commercial vehicle.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my personal, like, I bought a car for me,
Personal fun.
not a company thing. Because when we did that 1,000-mile trip, I did have to log every minute of it.
Every second.
Kayla Beneder did reach out and say on YouTube that 100% of her success goes to the mentor program.
Wow, who are our mentors? Oh,
The Lord said the same thing.
Luke Shire. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Dana and Deb.
So today we have a new airplane, as we do every week. Those of you joining in, I'm an aviation geek. I'm an aviation nerd, and I have an airplane on my desk every day, a model airplane, I should say. And every model airplane that I own is one that I have a story behind. I don't have any that I don't have a story behind it. So, like, with the exception of 2 of them, I've flown on every single one of them, and not the models, the actual planes, because that would be
hard to do.
Be like, was that movie Interspace back in the day where he gets really, really small and goes inside? That's what I have to do to be in these planes. But so I like to share these with y'all. Today's airplane is from Northwest Airlines. Do you remember Northwest Airlines?
I do.
They were big back when I was a kid, and they were based out of Memphis, Tennessee.
They were also known as NWA, right?
They were known as NWA. That is correct.
I'm glad I find myself funny.
You're hysterical. Anyways,
Thank you.
So they were big out of what was it, Detroit and Minneapolis maybe, and definitely Memphis.
Up in the Northwest.
No, they weren't really known in the Northwest. Why?
Well, their name was Northwest Airlines.
That's neither here nor there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
I mean, Southwest is based out of Texas. I don't think, is that really west? It's more South Central.
It is more South Central.
But the airplane on my desk today is an Avrojet. It is a cute little airplane. It's a regional jet for them. And what makes this jet so unique is that it's a tiny little jet, seats like 60, 70 people, but it has 4 engines. Like, if you don't know the scale of this could look like a huge military airplane, but it seats like 60 people, and that's it.
Why does it have 4 engines? We had some other airplanes on here that only had 2 engines. They were much larger planes.
Much larger planes. So back in the 80s, they were building these jets for short runways. So like when you don't have a lot of runway, you got to get up in the air fast, and also for really hot conditions. So for those of you who don't know, airplanes perform best in cold, and heat degrades their performance. So the hotter it is, the worse the performance of the airplane. And the worse the performance, the longer it takes to take off, et cetera, et cetera. So they put 4 engines on this thing so it could take off really, really fast and get up in the air quickly no matter what it was. You see these things running all over Africa to this day. They just, super hot climates, they're outstanding in. But Northwest owned a bunch of these things, and this airplane was actually my very first airplane to ever fly, ever.
Really?
I was in middle school, and my dad had to go out to Jacksonville, Florida. My aunt lived out there, and he was going to stay with her, and he said, hey, why don't you join me? I've got enough Northwest Airlines points to fly you for free. So I'm like, cool, sign me up. So I flew this little thing out of the Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport. You don't ever say Metropolitan enough, do you?
No, you don't.
So the Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport, and flew that to Memphis, and then from Memphis to Jacksonville's a DC-9. Remember those old DC-9s?
Yeah, I do. Are those the ones that had the stairs down the butt?
Yeah,
back?
the butt. Yes, the DC-9 had the stairs in the back.
Yeah,
and it was workhorse plane. Workhorse.
So that's what got the Patrick flying bug started. That little plane right there.
That little plane right there, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're actually like beloved. People really like them because they were really quiet.
Yeah.
For back in the day, they were very comfy. Yeah, I really I really liked it. And I only flew it one time. When we flew back from Memphis back to Baton Rouge, we flew on a propeller.
Okay.
driven plane, a Saab.
Just the once. Wow.
Yeah, so I only flew this thing one time, and it's burned in my memory. You ever have those experiences that are just
Yes, I
burned in?
have.
Jimmy Mack.
It's just like the DC-9 with the stairs out the
Yes.
back. One of my first experiences was flying from Los Angeles to Oakland, California during the holidays to visit family, and the stairs out the back was just like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy actually reached out on YouTube and said that Northwest used to be Northwest Orient until the 1930s, and it was in and out of Asia mostly. And you know what? One of the big reasons why Northwest eventually became Delta, they got bought up by Delta Airlines, and that's what made Delta the huge airline they are now. They went from a big airline to huge. They went to one of the big key factors of Delta buying them was their Asian network.
Okay.
Was the fact that they were flying to Narita, which is Tokyo,
So
basically.
they already had the routes.
They already had the routes, and
Nice.
rather than reestablish it, just buy a company
Nice.
that's already doing it.
That's
and,
cool.
Yeah, not on this plane, much larger, the 747s
course.
and stuff.
Of course.
But yeah, great time on that plane. If you've ever flown on one of these little guys, send us a comment. Let us know.
Yeah, be curious to hear about that.
Yeah, I'll be taking a picture of this and throwing it up on show notes as well, because this is one of the smallest models I have. So it's very difficult to see, I'm sure. But it was a cool experience, and it's yeah. Lundy Rhines on Facebook says, glad to be a part of the family. This was a great decision to drive with you guys in Panther. I'm enjoying it very much, and I love our mentors. Awesome. Who are your mentors? We'd love to know. Let's give the mentors a shout out.
That is good to hear. I got to meet Lundy and her partner, Rick. They've been with us for only a couple of weeks now. Really nice people. Really enjoy talking to them and showing them their truck.
Very cool.
They're super excited to get on the truck with us. So I'm glad to see you on here, Lundy, saying hello to us and telling us how you feel.
Awesome.
Really happy to see that.
Yeah. I try to get out and see as many teams coming in as I can. My schedule is bananas.
BANANAS.
And
Couldn't help
so
myself, sorry.
it's a little challenging. So if you see some people have met me and some people haven't, I'm not picking and choosing. It's literally when I can get away and make it down there. I'm trying. That's one of my things. I'm trying to be a little more proactive in carving out time and moving meetings around so I can be there. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting so many more people throughout the rest of the year and as we go forward.
And we'll keep reminding you when they're coming in.
Absolutely. Jimmy Mack says, Kelly says, thanks everyone for the birthday shout outs. She loves all of y'all. We love her too. She is awesome. She is just one of the reasons we do as good as we do is her work. But I got to talk about something that happened this past week that I'm not going to say was how do I put this? It was sad. It wasn't something I wanted to see. I read about it on Facebook. We at Hyfield have a couple of options for fuel for our drivers, for our contractors. Our fuel card, mostly we use Love's Truck Stops. They give us the biggest fuel discount, and that can be up to like $1 off per gallon. So when you go and you see a truck stop and it's $4.29, well then for us it's $3.29 per gallon. And when you figure you're putting in typically 100 gallons across 100 trucks. It doesn't take very long to realize that money.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. TA and Petro, second preferred one.
Sure.
They don't quite do as much, but they still do a pretty good discount. And then what's the company up in
Sap Brothers.
Sap Brothers. Yeah, thank you. They do a really good job with us as well. They're just very regional.
Love's takes care of us too. Our drivers start out as platinum. They're not having to earn their way there every month. They start it from day one.
Well, what does platinum
mean? Or day
mean?
two. They start as soon as they get us their Love's number. They start as platinum. Unlimited showers, unlimited refills on things like soda, iced tea, coffee. If it's in a fountain or pour it into your own cup, bring a cup in and get a free refill or two, whatever it takes. Melissa and I used to bring in a big gallon jug and fill it with ice. That was our ice maker was inside the Love. So they take really good care of us from that perspective as well.
And they also do 3 points per gallon. So
Right, you earn 3 points per
Yeah.
gallon, and those points are the driver's points. Hyfield's not saying, "Oh, those are mine. Bring them here. I need a new headset."
they're for the drivers.
Those
to
are the
use.
driver's points.
It doesn't sound like much because it's like a point is a penny. So 3 points per gallon. It's like, oh, that's not much at all.
100 gallons,
100
300
gallons
points,
is
that's $3.
$3, and you're
Yeah.
doing that a couple times a day. It adds up real fast.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's funny too how different people like doing different things with those points. Eric and I, when we were driving, that was Subway. Like we go pop at a Subway,
Eat fresh.
get a Subway Eat Fresh
Yeah.
sandwich with a bag of Sun Chips, Harvest Cheddar.
There you go.
And that was how we spent ours. Other people I know, and I don't know if either one of y'all did this, that they always had to have the newest, latest, greatest GPS, and so that's how they spent. They'd save all their points. Jerry, you're nodding your head like crazy.
Yeah, that's exactly what me and Don would do. Is we would do GPS, anything big ticket item, something of that nature. That's exactly what we spend it on. And now that I'm no longer on the road, I've actually got over $600 right now at Lowe's. So me and Don has actually already been plotting on what we're going to go buy because it's just sitting there.
Nice.
That's a lot of $6 footlongs.
Right. So we wouldn't use them for high ticket items because the high ticket items we would use as write-offs, business write-offs for our business as independent contractors. I would save the points for when Melissa had to run in at night because Melissa drove the night shift, so she wasn't have to carry cash or her wallet or anything inside with her. She could go in and just use the points and use the app on her phone with the barcode to scan to get her coffee or snacks or whatever she needed.
Yeah.
And she was good. So when we came off the road, we had something like $250 in points available. And every now and again, we'll have to go down to Love's and fuel because we're down at one of the shops that's closer to Love's, and we'll fuel, and I'll run and get a snack or something. And I looked the other day, we were down to like $10 in points. So we slowly, but surely whittled them away. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we that was one of the things. That was one of the things I would do is I didn't like keeping that thermos or one of those insulated Yetis.
Sure.
I tried it.
Yeah.
I hated
You're
like
weird
having
that
to.
way.
I hated having to clean it inside the truck. Oh, and when we first started, we were in a factory sleeper, so there was no sink. There was no option for that. I'm glad those days are gone. But then go inside and wash them inside the Loves. I know a lot of people do that, but it just always was weird to me. So what I just started doing was about halfway through our driving careers, I would just buy the first cup,
Yeah.
the first drink with
Right.
my Loves points, and then I would just refill that once or twice on my shift, and then I just got a new cup every day. In hindsight, a little wasteful, but it served a purpose. It kept me hygienic. I've seen some
Sure.
people who like they use the same coffee cup and they always
Right.
over and over and over and over again. And I'm like,
Never wash it.
at some point, kind of freaks me out a little bit. But I guess with coffee at least, if it's hot, it's not that big of a deal.
I don't know. I don't know. Another interesting use of points is Kayla and Eric used to use their points for laundry at Love's. Because at Love's, you can swipe your card, and it just deducts points to pay for your laundry. So
See,
I thought that was interesting.
now you're starting to date me. So we quit driving back in 2017, and when we quit driving in 2017, that was not an option. There was
They didn't have the laundry at Love's?
There was like 5 Loves across the nations that did, and they were all Flying J's that Loves had purchased that still had the laundry machines. But yeah, no, that was not really a thing.
Yeah. So the reason you brought this up, Patrick,
Yes.
is a dear man, Tom Love, passed away this week.
Yes.
He was born in 1937, died just this week in 2023. It's kind of a sad day for all of us drivers that appreciate what he did for the truck stop and convenience store industry.
Absolutely. Yeah. His, like his philosophy, his whole jingle, which you've heard at Love's, is the what is it, clean, smiling faces, clean places, or something like that.
Yes, something like that.
And he always believed in having a clean store and
Right.
having friendly people. Every time you walk into a Love's now, not every time, but most of the time, usually they say, hey, like welcome or whatever. They try to be friendly and bring that charm to it, which you don't get at other truck stops.
You don't.
And they have spent a ton of money over the past several years renovating all their old stores. They have made them built brand new stores that are super nice, showers that are one major chain a couple years ago, or by a couple I mean like 15 years ago, went through and they redid all their showers with like marble and all this stuff, and that it looked good, but it didn't really stand the test of time.
No, it didn't. It wasn't maintained.
It was not maintained. Love's went through and they built all theirs with like one-piece solid surface shower walls
Right.
and all these things. So there's minimal maintenance needed on top of just cleaning it,
Right.
and it looks really good. And they really seem to take pride in what they do. Most of them, I get there's bad apples everywhere. So if you're listening, going like, "What have you been to some?" Yeah, I know there's some that are not great, but for the majority of them, they did very well. And that was his push. He actually started by running with his wife a few restaurants and convenience stores. When I say convenience stores, these are like back in the 60s, 50s, and 60s. They weren't gas stations. They weren't anything like that. They were more like the kind of like the Rexall drugstores, or if you can kind of think of that
Sure.
type stuff back in the day. And then he found these gas stations, these single serve or self-service gas stations that were had gone out of business and abandoned, and he could pick up the leases dirt cheap. And so he went through and they said, "Hey, we think we have a business opportunity here," and got those started and just placed an emphasis on quality and all that stuff. And it took off. 1972, he took his convenience store background and merged it with the gas station to create kind of the modern gas station. It was already being done across the country in a few places, but if you think back to those early days, I mean, a gas station, even when I was a kid, I remember a gas station would have like maybe a little mobile bay oil change or something.
Right.
And
we called them service stations when I was a kid back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Because you actually got service.
Yes.
That was for me. It was when they were all full service. You didn't have self service.
Yeah.
You pulled into the gas station, ding ding, because the bell went off, and they came out from the service bay, and they pumped your fuel. You told them what you wanted, how much you wanted. They pumped your fuel. They offered to check your oil. They offered to clean your windows.
Yeah.
They did all of that stuff. And then if you had a breakdown or mechanical needs, you had that. They were mechanics as well.
Yeah.
So it was a service station. They offered you full service for your vehicle.
And if they had anything, they had a Coke machine.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
or maybe a couple little Debbies or Hostess or something, but not much
Not
of
much.
anything.
No.
And so he took and merged them to have full service, or not full service, but self-service gas stations with the large
The full
convenience
service
stores
convenience store,
on the
yeah.
inside. And then that was in 1964, and that was for cars. And in 1972, I'm sorry, that was 1972. And then in 1981, he opened up the first truck stop, the Love's Travel Store Center. So, was it?
Yeah.
Love's Truck Stop in Amarillo, Texas on I-40. And that's what got him kicked off. They're based out of Oklahoma City. He's a self-made guy. He went through a couple of years of college, dropped out, and started working, and grew a literal $5,000 a year lease gas
Right.
station into a, what are they,
600 some odd stores.
600 something stores,
Yeah.
42 states,
Crazy.
39,000 employees. The company is worth like $9.7 billion, and that's not that's not a public company that's grown because of
Right.
stocks. It's still a family-owned company, and he has been the patriarch for it, and got it all started. So that was kind of a sad thing to see.
It is a sad thing for the industry. It really, truly is. And for the
It is.
family, too,
Yeah. And
85 years old.
I think, yeah, exactly. And one thing I think that's huge is you see other companies like Pilot Flying J posted on their website a tribute to him.
Yeah.
Like when your biggest competitors
Yeah.
reach out and say what an amazing person you were for the industry, it just shouts that much longer or that much larger how impactful it was. So it's a sad day, or it was a sad week for everybody listening or everybody kind of in that world, yeah.
Yeah, it really is a sad day, and something even closer to home for us here in the Hyfield family. Most of you, probably all of you, know Frank Ribello and Maria Ribello. They lost their mom this past week,
Yeah.
which is really unfortunate. sad. It hits home. You know, it really does hit home for all of us.
It does. And I had the opportunity, or Eric and I both did, to meet her a couple times, and she was always such a sweet lady.
I never got to meet her, but when Frank would go visit her, he would share her singing.
Absolutely.
On Facebook, or if you were in Frank's presence, he'd grab his phone and say, "Hey,
check it out.
Check it out." You know,
yeah.
Which. Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, it's when I saw the Facebook message come across, it was definitely a kick in the stomach. And so I think we just want to send our loves and well wishes out to the family as they're going through their grief. You know, I went through this a few years back with my mom, and I know how rough it is, and you know, it's a shame we have to go through that. And so yeah, on behalf of Hyfield, to that whole family, you know, we love y'all. I did get another comment on Facebook real quick. I'm going to jump to Donna Sleesman. I'm sorry, let me read this. It's a long one. I need to read it first. So, okay. Donna said, wouldn't it be great if when the shower was used and empty, the door would seal and the entire thing would be steamed, and that would sanitize it and recycle the water to flush toilets. The whole thing would be stainless steel. That's not a terrible idea. We were actually in London. I think it was London. No, that's not right. It wasn't London. Where was it? We were in a foreign country, and they had their like public restrooms.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's exactly how it was.
Yep.
You walked in, did your business,
Yeah.
you left. When you closed the door, a little light would go from green to red, and you couldn't open it, and it made this weird noise. And what it was doing was it literally sprayed down the entire bathroom, every surface in the bathroom, and they had like toilet paper and towels they had covered up with these little plastic things to keep them from getting wet.
Right.
And that's what they did, and it was awesome. It was very, very hygienic. I mean, because you think about like a public restroom, it's kind of disgusting.
They kind of are.
They kind of are. I mean, how do you have it open to anybody?
Especially
with no
when they're
attendant?
out on a public street and then they're unattended, like
Yes.
you said. So yeah, they kind of are disgusting.
And so it was really, really awesome. So I think I could see that being a really good idea. Someone's just got to invent it. Donna, I'd say patent it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Work with I was gonna say Mr. Clean, but that's not right. That's the the Lysol company or something. I don't know. Toto.
Yeah, the bidet company.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, them.
Yeah.
I do like that idea a lot. Lundy. Oh yeah, we asked earlier who her mentors were. She was shouting out the Samuels as their mentors, and that's the Real Trucking Couple 2.0.
The Real Trucker Couple
yes.
2.0.
2.0.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're awesome people. They have a great YouTube channel. Go check it out. They also have their Instagram is just insanely good.
It really is.
They have so
Really
much good content on there.
Yeah.
Go check that out. And yeah, they recently joined our mentor program and started working with teams over on the Panther side. And you know, they
Can I kind of give them a little of their backstory?
absolutely.
I mean, they've got like 12, 15 years in the expedite industry, and they've been with us here at Hyfield now for a year.
Yeah.
I spoke with them quite a bit before they made the decision to come over, and when they came over, Steve and Darnisha, when they came on board, they came with an open mind. They had more experience expediting than I did, but they didn't have any experience with Panther. So they came with an open mind, and they listened and learned how Panther functioned versus their previous fleet, and they took it and ran with it and been very successful. So it's one of those things where, you know, you might have a ton of trucking experience, but zero expedite experience.
Yeah.
You don't know the business that you're coming into. You know how to drive the truck. And I'm not going to teach you how to drive a truck. You drive that truck, operate the truck the way you need to operate it. But when it comes to working with your carrier, your mentors have that experience and can share with you things that you might learn in 6 months. They can share it with you now. So anyway, but that's where Steve and Darnisha came from, was right out the gate, just open mind, listening, learning.
Yeah.
It was really good. Really good stuff. Good people.
Yeah, they're really great people. I even used him as a bodyguard not too long ago. I went and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk.
We'll say
another show.
Another show. We're getting kind of
Yeah,
long. Add
we
that to
are.
the list.
We are.
We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, and I'm actually going to scratch the last thing too on the list. We'll talk about that next time. If
Okay.
you want to hear more about that story, more about business models going forward, more things going on here at Hyfield, we are going to be continuing these shows. We will be doing. Our goal is three to four a month. Of our regular shows plus one live going forward. So the next one will be in 3-ish weeks.
The next live, yeah.
Yep, next live. And then, of course, next Saturday we'll have another show for you as
Yes, we will.
well. It won't be live, but it'll be another show.
Right. If you haven't already, do us a favor and hit the like button. If you're not subscribed but you're here, if you would subscribe, we'd appreciate that. But hit that like button, subscribe. I think it's the same on Facebook. I don't know how Facebook works. I don't do the Facebook thing. But, yeah, follow us on Facebook as well. If you're listening to our podcast, leave us reviews on your favorite podcast app. We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And just, let us know what you want to hear about. Let us know the things you want to see and know. And I'll go ahead and say it now. And don't leave money on the table.
Nice.
Your turn.
Yeah, like I just want to echo everything he said. I'm going to go line by line. No, like and subscribe. Please reach out. Don't be afraid to tell us what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. We want to cater this podcast and this YouTube to what you want to hear. And trust me, Vince and I have opinions, and Jerry have opinions on everything. Everything. You're not going to throw something out. I may not know anything about it, but I have an opinion on it.
Same
I
here.
guarantee it.
Same here. Yeah.
And we all have iPads at the desk. We can research mid-conversation. I do want to point two things out. Mid-America Truck Show is going to happen in a couple weeks, March 30th through April 1st at the Kentucky Expo Center. We hope to see you there. We're going to be in the West Wing with the Panther Premium
Wilson
Logistics.
Panther, yep.
They're going to be there in their booth. We're going to be just hanging out with them. Free truck parking at the Cardinal Stadium. And they
Yes.
have buses going
Shuttles back and forth,
Parking on site costs
$30 a night.
for a truck,
For
and
a
if you're in a
truck.
personal vehicle, it's 10, I think, ish.
Ish.
It's all on their website, truckshow.com. And then in July, we'll be at Expedite Expo. We'll have our own booth, July 21st to the 22nd, 2023. We're going to be sponsoring Casino Night in the After Party. Come throw down with us. It's at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That truck parking is $16, but that show is free to attend. Jump online, expediteexpo.com for more details and for to register. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun. We enjoy these. We hope you enjoy these.
It's a lot of fun. It really is.
You're done.
I look forward to it every week.
You've already
You
finished.
can edit this part out.
Okay. You can edit live, right?
No.
You got your time machine, don't you?
Thank you so much for joining us. Y'all stay safe. Make good decisions.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.